कीर्तन नृत्य गीता वादित्रमाद्यान् मनसोरसेना
महाप्रभु कीर्तन नृत्य गीता वादित्रमाद्यान् मनसोरसेना
रोमाञ्चकं पाशुतरङ्गबाजो वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
रोमाञ्चकं पाशुतरङ्गबाजो वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
श्रीविग्रहाराधन नित्यनाम शृङ्गारतन्मन्दिरमजनादो
श्रीविग्रहाराधन नित्यनाद शृङ्गारतन्मन्दिरमजनादो
युक्तस्य भक्ताश्च नियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
तस्य भक्तांश्च नियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
चतुर्विधा श्रीभगवत्प्रसादो स्वादन्नतृप्तान् हरिभक्तसङ्गान्
चतुर्विधा श्रीभगवत्प्रसादो स्वादन्नतृप्तान् हरिभक्तसङ्गान्
कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपार माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्ना
श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपार माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्ना
प्रतिक्षणा स्वादन्नलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
प्रतिक्षणा स्वादनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
निकुञ्जयो रतिकेलिसिद्धै यायलिभिर्योक्तिरपेक्षणीया
निकुञ्जयो नो रतिकेलिसिद्धै यायलिभिर्योक्तिरपेक्षणीया
तत्रातिदाक्षारत्विवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
तत्रातिदाक्षारतिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव सद्धि
साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव सद्धि
किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान्न गति कुतोऽपि
यस्य प्रसादा भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान्न गति कुतोऽपि
ध्यायां स्तुवां तस्य यशस्त्रिसन्ध्यां वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
ध्यायां स्तुवां तस्य यशस्त्रिसन्ध्यां वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् 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 वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
जय प्रभुपदा
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namaste Narasimhaya Praladala Dadaine Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha Shilatanka Nakalaye Ito Nisimha Barato Nisimpu Yato Yamitato Nisimpu Vaere Nisimpu Iraye Nisimpu Nisimhamadim Saranam Prapatye Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Anuta Sringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrita Naraharirupa Jaya Jagadisa Hare Jaya Jagadisa Hare Jaya Jagadisa Hare Jaya Nisim Hare Jaya Nisim Hare Jaya Nisim Hare Jaya Nisim Hare Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Buenos días. I can't hear you.
Haribolito, could you see okay
Haribolito.
the presentation?
Huh?
Could you see okay the presentation, the video?
Yeah.
Ah, because my computer show weird things, so I didn't. Okay. Do you want to share? You want to try?
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up. I didn't pull it up ahead of time.
It's okay. Yesterday didn't work anyway when you had it.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm getting it.
No problem. It doesn't work, then I make it work.
Canto 1,
Yes.
chapter 5.
Yes.
Okay, but first we have to go to chapter 2, 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. Chapter 2, verse 4. Okay. Oh, I got it. Let me share my screen. Hold on.
No, chapter so 1, 1, 2, 4, no?
Yeah,
Okay.
let me share my screen. Hold on. I think it's working today.
Haribo.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, perfecto.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Okay. Chapter 5. What verse are we on?
18. I don't know if we read 18 or the next one is 18 because 18 is on my screen, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we did that yesterday. It's the next one.
Oh, the next one?
Yeah. You can go in the bottom anyway.
Oh, and do next. That's right. Forgot.
It's okay, it's okay. Many guys to get wrong.
Are you gonna make me read the Sanskrit?
No, I don't make you do anything. Whatever you like. You are better than mine because you learn how to read in English with the break words by word. You know, like in English, they teach you when you're a child, break syllable by syllable. And you do that with Sanskrit, and I can't do that because I didn't learn that. So
Oh.
I do learn word. I read.
I mean, this is one of the long verses and I don't know the tune. Okay, I'll try.
The tune of the Sikho Swami. You know the song for the Sikho Swami?
Sing it.
No. No, I don't know either. I mean, I know it sometimes I remember, but now I don't remember.
Okay, I just won't sing it. I'll say it.
Okay.
Navai Jano Jatu Katan Chan Navrajen Mukunda Seve Anyavad Anga Samstritim Smaran Mukundan Grihya Upagunhanam Punar Vihatum Ichen Narasa Graho Jana.
Very
Translation. My dear Vyas, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruitive workers, etc. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again.
We read this next one.
Yeah, we did, right?
Yeah.
Should I skip this?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. The Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead himself is himself this cosmos, and he is still aloof from it. From him only has this cosmic manifestation emanated. In him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. Your good self knows all about this. I have given only a synopsis. Purport. For a pure devotee, the conception of Mukunda, Lord Sri Krishna, is both personal and impersonal. The impersonal cosmic situation is also Mukunda because it is the emanation of the energy of Mukunda. For example, a tree is a complete unit, whereas the leaves and the branches of the tree are emanated parts and parcels of the tree. The leaves and branches of the tree are also the tree, but the tree itself is neither the leaves nor the branches. The Vedic version that the whole cosmic creation is nothing but Brahman means that since everything is emanating from the Supreme Brahman, nothing is apart from him. Similarly, the part and parcel, hands and legs that are called the body, but the body as the whole unit is neither the hands nor the legs. The Lord is the transcendental form of eternity, cognition, and beauty, and thus the creation of the energy of the Lord appears to be partially eternal, full of knowledge, and beautiful also. The captivated, conditioned souls under the influence of the external energy Maya are therefore entrapped in the network of the material nature. They accept this as all in all, for they have no information of the Lord, who is the primeval cause. Nor have they information about that the parts and parcels of the body, being detached from the whole body, are no longer the same hand or leg as when attached to the body. Similarly, a godless civilization detached from the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is just like a detached hand or leg. Such parts and parcels may appear like hands and legs, but they have no efficacy. The devotee of the Lord, Srila Vyasadeva, knows this very well. He is further advised by Srila Narada to expand the idea so that the entrapped conditioned souls may take lessons from him to understand the Supreme Lord as the primeval cause. According to the Vedic version, the Lord is naturally fully powerful, and thus his supreme energies are always perfect and identical with him. Both the spiritual and the material skies and their paraphernalia are emanations of the internal and external energies of the Lord. The external energy is comparatively inferior, whereas the internal potency is superior. The superior energy is a living force, and therefore she is completely identical. But the external energy, being inert, is partially identical. Both the energies are neither equal to nor greater than the Lord, who is the generator of all energies. Such energies are always under his control, exactly as electrical energy, however powerful it may be, is always under the control of the engineer. The human being and all other living beings are products of his internal energies. Thus, the living being is also identical with the Lord, but he is never equal or superior to the personality of Godhead. The Lord and living beings are all individual persons. With the help of the material energies, the living beings are also creating something, but none of their creations are equal or superior to the creations of the Lord. The human being may create a small, playful Sputnik and may throw it into outer space, but that does not mean that he can create a planet like the Earth or Moon and float it in the air as the Lord does. Men with a poor fund of knowledge claim to be equal to the Lord. They are never equal to the Lord. This is never to be. The human being, after attaining complete perfection, may achieve a large percentage of the qualities of the Lord, say up to 78%, but it is never possible to surpass the Lord or to become equal with him. In a disease condition only, the foolish being claims to be one with the Lord, and thus becomes misled by the illusory energy. The misguided living beings, therefore, must accept the supremacy of the Lord and agree to render loving service to him. For this they have been created. Without this, there cannot be any peace or tranquility in the world. Srila Vyasadeva is advised by Srila Narada to expand this idea in the Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Gita, also the same idea is explained. Surrender fully unto the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the only business of the perfect human being.
Very
You want
nice.
to say something about
Yeah,
that?
a few things that came to my mind because I was listening to Radhika Das, an interview he was given to somebody who's not a Vaishnava, but a yogi, something like that. And he was very impersonalist, he was talking about like we are all one, and and
It's so
Radhika
dumb.
and Radhika is very sweet, when he interviews people. And I was thinking, oh my God, because the other person has a microphone, and it's almost like telling everybody he's listening to, we are one, So I was thinking, oh, how Radhika is going to explain this? How is going to, let it be? I was already jumping out of my chair, And then he said, he let it say, and he was like nodding, he was saying, okay, yeah, And then he said, so sweetly and so lovely, he said, at one point I thought we had to be all one, or we have to be personal, we have to be, it has to be a God who's personal, it has to be the energy of God. But then I realized it can be both, and he said in such a loving way that the person personally say, oh, my mind just exploded. And he didn't give a lot of argument. He just said they could be both, like a simple thing, why not could be both? Because the thing is, like, sometimes when we have an idea, we don't want to reject our ideas, we don't want to like think we are wrong, so we can think this is correct, but there is more. He's also
Right.
person, so
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I feel like I'm passionate, and many devotees are passionate, and we try like everybody, and so
I mean, it's true, right? It is both.
I know, but I'm saying if it's just you do it with the loving kindness, to understand you're right. You're not incorrect.
Yeah,
You're right, but there is more than that,
right.
So the idea saying that it's incorrect, maybe, especially if Prabhupada said, obviously he has the potency also to say so, and transform the people by his own presence. But, we have to be careful. So we can say, yes, yes, and there is more, and
Yeah.
there is also, and also I sent a letter to Radhika. I'm with the Radhikas now, Radhika Raman Prabhu, because we're reading the glories of Bhagavatam, and there was explaining how, nothing materially acts by itself, and that's the arguments that nothing material acts by itself, therefore there is somebody behind that thing that makes it work, like he was given an example of an axe, an axe doesn't cut a tree by itself. You have to have somebody who operates the axe. So I say, yeah, so good, but then we have robots now who do everything, And then he said, yeah, I'm not a scientist. He said, but even though the robot may do things by themselves, maybe a robot go and cuts a tree, okay? But somebody created the robot.
Right. And they programmed it and they taught it how to do whatever it is it's doing.
So
Yeah.
there is always a person behind even the robot who's doing things by themselves, So
Yeah.
there is no way that you can say there is no creator who created everything. And I
Yeah.
love the aspect where it says the hand by itself, has no potency. And we sometimes struggle to do things in the material world, and we're just like those hands, we try to do things, but we are not attached to the source, and we are going to have almost no impact, Only when we're connected to Krishna, we can have the impact to do something incredible. Like if we connect the cable to the source, like the computer now is unplugged, but if I plug it to the energy, then you can have a full potential, So the more we plug with Krishna, the more we have full potential, Those are the things that came to my mind.
Nice.
And you?
No, it's true. I like it. I agree.
You can always disagree, no problem.
I know. Don't worry, I will. Not right now. All
I know you have always good questions. Okay.
right, next. Your goodness has perfect vision. You yourself can know the supersoul personality of Godhead because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please therefore describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, more vividly. Purport. Srila Vyasadeva is the empowered plenary portion incarnation of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. He descended by his causeless mercy to deliver the fallen souls in the material world. The fallen and forgotten souls are detached from the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The living entities are parts and parcels of the Lord, and they are eternally servitors of the Lord. All the Vedic literatures, therefore, are put into systematic order for the benefit of the fallen souls, and it is the duty of the fallen souls to take advantage of such literatures and be freed from the bondage of material existence. Although formally Srila Narada Rishi is his spiritual master, Srila Vyasadeva is not at all dependent on a spiritual master because, in essence, he is the spiritual master of everyone else. But because he is doing the work of an acharya, he has taught us by his own conduct that one must have a spiritual master, even though he be God himself. Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Ram, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all incarnations of God had accepted formal spiritual masters, although by their transcendental nature they were cognizant of all knowledge. In order to direct people in general to the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, he himself, in the incarnation of Vyasadeva, is delineating the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Comments?
Vyasadeva incarnated for the well-being of all of us. Again, we are reading over and over again, this is all about kindness for the living entities, and we have a process to get out of this mess, we are here now, we have to get out, and there is a process, and by the mercy of those who came before us, trying to guide us to, we're confused, say, but show them the way. They are in darkness, show them the way. And the Bhagavatam is like the light, who show us the way. And the spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada, his disciples are way to continue showing us the way. So very nice. Thank you.
Right. Learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerities, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, and charity, culminates in the transcendental descriptions of the Lord, who is defined in choice poetry. Purport. Human intellect is developed for advancement of learning in art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, economics, politics, etc. By culture of such knowledge, the human society can attain perfection of life. This perfection of life culminates in the realization of the Supreme Being Vishnu. The Shruti therefore directs that those who are actually advanced in learning should aspire for the service of Lord Vishnu. Unfortunately, persons who are enamored by the external beauty of Vishnu Maya do not understand that the culmination of perfection or self-realization depends on Vishnu. Vishnu Maya means sense enjoyment, which is transient and miserable. Those who are entrapped by Vishnu Maya utilize advancement of knowledge for sense enjoyment. Sri Narada Muni has explained that all paraphernalia of the cosmic universe is but an emanation from the Lord out of his different energies, because the Lord has set in motion by his inconceivable energy the actions and reactions of the created manifestation. They have come to be out of his energy. They rest on his energy, and after annihilation, they merge into him. Nothing is therefore different from him, but at the same time, the Lord is always different from them. When advancement of knowledge is applied in the service of the Lord, the whole process becomes absolute. The personality of Godhead and his transcendental name, fame, glory, etc., are all non-different from him. Therefore, all the sages and devotees of the Lord have recommended that the subject matter of art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, and all other branches of knowledge should be wholly and solely applied in the service of the Lord. Art, literature, poetry, painting, etc., may be used in glorifying the Lord. The fiction writers, poets, and celebrated literateurs are generally engaged in writing of sensuous subjects, but if they turn towards the service of the Lord, they can describe the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Valmiki was a great poet, and similarly, Vyasadeva is a great writer, and both of them have absolutely engaged themselves in delineating the transcendental activities of the Lord, and by doing so have become immortal. Similarly, science and philosophy should also be applied in the service of the Lord. There is no use presenting dry speculative theories for sense gratification. Philosophy and science should be engaged to establish the glory of the Lord. Advanced people are eager to understand the absolute truth through the medium of science, and therefore a great scientist should endeavor to prove the existence of the Lord on a scientific basis. Similarly, philosophical speculation should be utilized to establish the supreme truth as sentient and all-powerful. Similarly, all other branches of knowledge should also be engaged in the service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, also the same is affirmed. All knowledge not engaged in the service of the Lord is but nescience. Real utilization of advanced knowledge is to establish the glories of the Lord, and that is the real import. Scientific knowledge engaged in the service of the Lord and all similar activities are all factually Hari Kirtan, or glorification of the Lord.
Very, very bold. We're thinking that Prabhupada says in the beginning, that you can engage all the forms of knowledge, and that scientists originally, they were spiritualists who were
Mhm.
trying to understand God through science. They're trying to understand like, even the Catholics, the first mathematician astronomers were Catholics who will well, not the first, but the first in the West, I will say. They were like they still going Sunday to church. They would go to the lab because they were going to be connected with God in a way to realize God. There is a whole books about the scientists, they were God. And then at some point, there is a talk, very nice talk about says the particular point when history divide the science from God, there was a particular point in history, and there was a couple of reasons for that division, to happen. And after that, we divide. But in the past, was not a division. It was not a way to be division. Everything was connected to God, and so scientists, mathematicians were like saying the magic, creation of God, the fact that, Fibonacci, the Fibonacci numbers, their numbers, they're like very precise. And if you see the sunflower, each grain of sunflower goes with the precisely measurements. That is the called Fibonacci theory. And so the cones, pine cones, the spiral conch shell, like that, all of that has a mathematical precise thing. So the scientists say, wow, there is a way this is created so precisely. We want to learn about it. And doing that, they will think they will be discovering God, and they will understand God better by understanding his creation, like if if I want to learn something about you and I see what you created, a painting, I can think you like sunrises or sunsets or whatever, like you look at the creation and you can learn about the person who did the creation, So similarly, there is a couple of books like that. I like to get more knowledgeable of them because there are like many of the old scientists, many of them were completely, and I just saw the life of Ramanuj, who discovered one particular part of mathematics, and he said Krishna revealed to him, and he was advancing more than everybody else. And there's a documentary in Netflix about his life. Very interesting.
What's it called?
I think it's called Ramanujan.
Oh,
I look for it. It's very good. I sent exactly the name, but I think it's called Ramanuja, and it's an Indian guy from with the British colonization and all that part. And he went to England, and he was discovering things. Nobody understood how he could do that, and they would obviously didn't believe him. But it's interesting. But he was showing. Then he said, "How do you get this information?" He said, "I get revealed." God reveals to me. He did the pushes every morning. He was a vegetarian in the middle of British and even in the war. And he will do his push every morning, and he will get all the knowledge, and he will write it down. And then, he still will use what he discovered, so the movie's about that. So that, if you connect, like I said before, in the previous thing, if you connect with the source, you are full of intelligence and knowledge, and you can do advancements even because Prabhupada, what struck me in the beginning, if you read all the way on the top, if you go up on the top, maybe we can read that section again. Here it says that in one part it says here is for knowledge of human society to attain perfection of life. So there it is. By culture of such a knowledge, the human society can attain perfection of life. That struck me, no? Because we can use that. It's not that we cannot use it, but if we use it in the right connection, then we can have, what's called the perfection of life. And perfection of life includes karma. That includes karma, includes enjoyment. It's just like we say yesterday, not enjoyment that you have to endeavor too much, but enjoyment that comes natural to you. And so science and all that can help a little bit on that, they probably want to exploit it and do more, you know. Uh, so in one sense, we do lives that can live longer. So there is the statistics, they say all the time, we have improved quality of life because people live longer. And that's 100% correct, yes. But how many more abortions are taking place before now than before? So people live longer. Those who live can live longer, but there's many more who don't have even the chance to live, you know. So if we take into consideration all of it, I think we can improve the quality of life because we have committed more, you know, we haven't let people live, you know.
Yeah. There's more people being killed.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a much younger age. So if you average the age of people getting killed, you know, we
Yeah.
are not better off, you know. It's just because we ignore that part. It's like we don't have that. If you look at just a little bit, look how much progress we made, you know.
Yeah.
So like that, you know. Anyway,
One
you want
more?
to do more? Yeah.
O Muni, in the last millennium, I was born as the son of a certain maidservice engaged in the service of Brahmins who were following the principles of Vedanta. When they were living together during the 4 months of the rainy season, I was engaged in their personal service. Purport. The wonder of an atmosphere surcharged with devotional service to the Lord is briefly described herein by Sri Narada Muni. He was the son of the most insignificant parentage. He was not properly educated. Still, because his complete energy was engaged in the service of the Lord, he became an immortal sage. Such is the powerful action of devotional service. The living entities are the marginal energy of the Lord, and therefore they are meant for being properly utilized in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. When this is not done, one's situation is called Maya. Therefore, the illusion of Maya is at once dissipated as soon as one's energy is converted in the service of the Lord instead of in sense enjoyment. From the personal example of Sri Narada Muni in his previous birth, it is clear that the service of the Lord begins with the service of the Lord's bona fide servants. The Lord says that the service of his servants is greater than his personal service. Service of the devotee is more valuable than the service of the Lord. One should therefore choose a bona fide servant of the Lord, constantly engaged in his service, accept such a servant as the spiritual master, and engage himself in the spiritual master's service. Such a spiritual master is a transparent medium by which to visualize the Lord, who is beyond the conception of the material senses. By service of the bona fide spiritual master, the Lord consents to reveal himself in proportion to the service rendered. Utilization of the human energy in the service of the Lord is the progressive path of salvation. The whole cosmic creation becomes at once identical with the Lord as soon as service in relation with the Lord is rendered under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. The expert spiritual master knows the art of utilizing everything to glorify the Lord, and therefore, under his guidance, the whole world can be turned into the spiritual abode by the divine grace of the Lord's servant.
When you read the verse, it just came the idea to me when I became a devotee that we were in temples with, 50, 100 devotees singing, chanting, and that becomes so enlightened, So it reminded me a little bit when Narada Muni was with the sages, in the house, the whole energy becomes so powerful, So it reminds me the potency of the association of devotees. You go to sadhusanga, no? And the sadhusanga is the same, no? Has the same potency, that you are like lifted, by the association of the sadhu. So very
Yeah.
serving of the servant of the servant. Haribol.
Haribo.
Thank you, Varashita. Let us offer respectful obeisance to all devotees Vaishnavas of the Lord. They are like desire trees, able to fulfill everyone's desires and the full of compassion for the conditions of Jai. Vanchakal. Haribol. I think we didn't do yesterday or the day before. I just remember that.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. I think I forgot.
Okay.
It's okay.
Haribol. Love you.
Love